All right, what was your question?
A lot of times I'll get, when I sell an item, I go to my page for that, and then it says eBay tells me your item has been paid for. Okay. Okay to ship it. And then sometimes when I want to verify something, I'll go to PayPal. And PayPal will say, okay to ship the items to this address. Now they're okaying me to ship it. eBay is okaying me to ship it. And if they ain't got the money, how does that leave me open then? If they're telling me I can ship it. Your item has been paid for, it's okay to ship. What's with that then? Because they're telling me I can ship it.
Yeah, that you should be able to. Yeah, that means the payment is cleared, and it's okay to ship.
Yeah, I see it all the time. Like it says, items been paid for. Okay to ship items, whatever items there is in the order, I can ship it. So I'm assuming everything is fine.
So
you
got.
Tell me it could go wrong.
Well, you got situations where you got like con artists that, they'll make a purchase. They'll make a purchase. They'll use their debit card that's linked to their PayPal account. It won't be a P2P transfer, and then they call their bank and they dispute the charge and they say, "Oh, my son made this charge, or someone else made this charge on my account. I didn't authorize this. I want to cancel it or dispute it." And then they dispute the transaction. That's a pretty easy one out there that you encounter a lot, especially in the reversal process.
PayPal will probably take the money and put it aside until they make a decision.
So then, you don't get the money. They don't have access.
They hold it on your account.
Correct. It'll come out of your account. If you have it deposited.
And it's in limbo.
So it'll be put in limbo until they sort it out. And if they can't recover the money from this person, then PayPal just refunds you them. You get refunded regardless. If the person disputes the charge on their end, PayPal and them will have to sort it out. But if it ends up going through the reversal process where like someone claims that someone else bought, like their son or their young child or something, bought something on their account, and the kid didn't know it was linked to this card or something like that, most of the time the bank's going to eat the charge, but PayPal will get the money from the bank who eats the charge, and then you'll get the money for the transaction. So PayPal's not going to.
Okay.
PayPal's not going to eat the money on the deal, which is why they put it in limbo. I don't think that they eat the money on the deal. I don't even think that they. Yeah, I don't think that they have ever eaten the money on any transaction that I've ever done.
Okay, I understand that. Sometimes I get something in and I open up a case and this and that, or somebody opens up a case against me, and whatever the money that was there is put aside until the case is settled and the money's released, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, that would be the first. That would be the first thing I'd recommend. Always open up a case, because it lets the seller know that something's up with the transaction, and it puts them in that risk of getting negative feedback zone. So.
I just had one. I was really pissed. A guy bought something like on Wednesday, okay, and then I think I wait and I don't get no money from the guy. Now it's like Thursday, Friday, late Friday. I don't get nothing, so I text the guy. Hey, guy, thank you for your purchase. I'd like to ship the item out, but you got to complete your transaction before I can do this. And then no respond. Then the weekend goes by, and I wait till Monday. And then I call up eBay, and I tell him, well, if this guy don't pay, I want to open up a case. I got no respond, no email back. I'm like, go fuck yourself or something, or I'm sorry, I can't pay for it right now. Oh, could you wait a day or two? Or I don't want the item. I don't know. And I open up a case. And then eBay wants to wait another day or two, and I says, no, this ain't right. You got my item held up for a week. I lose money. You lose money. And this guy's scot-free. What do you do with him? Slap him on the freaking hand. So eBay says, well, here's what you do. We'll open up the case and relist your item. I says, I can relist it right away? He says, yes, relist it right away. Don't worry about it. Is that right?
Well, did you get the final value fee credited to your account?
Not yet.
Well, you
They
should.
didn't tell me that.
When you go to that page I was telling you about earlier, the account summary page, you can go on there and you can see credits to your account, and it should show up on the date that they claim that they processed the credit to your account from that transaction. Because if they opened the case and closed the case for you and said that you can now relist it, then I would make sure that credit was processed to your account, or at least applied to it. And if it's
I went online to do that. I went online to open up the case.
okay.
The guy walked me through it. He says, do this, go on that page, click that, click this. I said, okay, I can see what you're doing. Boom, boom, boom. And I just, for non-payment, and I clicked open up a case.
Did
Now, the guy that did it was a zero.
Oh, he had zero feedback?
There was a zero next to his name, next to his, whatever his eBay name was a zero. I said, Jesus.
Well, I would. Do you have selling parameters? I don't know if I talked to you about selling parameters. You could check. You could outline.
Oh, yeah, I could not sell for anybody under a 10. I could do that. I see people do that already.
I mean,
Buy you less and feedback. Don't place your order.
I have it set up like that because I don't like. Really, I guess like the way that the newer people on the site handle themselves, they treat you like you're Amazon, and you're normally the people on eBay are people at their houses selling. They're not running a full on departmental structure where there's HR and there's PR and there's all these other departments that are there to cushion the blow and to service these customers. It's just one person doing everything. So a lot of the times the people with lower feedback, they tend to be more abusive and they don't know how to do business on eBay. But even double digit, I've had issues with double digit people too, though. To have 60, 70. I mean, I've even had issues with people with triple digits. They had upwards of 1,000 or even a couple thousand. I've had issues with people like that. More feedback than I have right now. I've had issues with people like that, and they still act like they're new to the site.
Right now, I got my sheet says I'm awaiting a payment for the item. So far, I keep getting a little bit of a box that pops up. It says item paid, waiting payment. I got that. That'll be there forever. I don't know how long they keep it on there. Still waiting for one item to be paid. Ship an item.
Are you wait? Did you? Do you have UPI assistant on, the unpaid item assistant?
Yeah, well, it shows that the item is not paid for. One item not paid for, or two items not paid for. It comes up on my sheet.
Well, what I have set up, is I have this thing called UPI assistant through eBay, and it's an unpaid item assistant. What it does is, if somebody doesn't pay in a certain time frame, then that automatic assistant will, as soon as the window is closed, the next minute it'll open up a case against the person for not paying. And then you have, I think it's like seven days to pay or to close the case on them. Like if they pay or somehow you get paid by them, or you receive payment in some fashion, you can close the case. Like if they're a local or something and you happen to arrange something where they come pick it up or something like that, which is rare, but then you can close the case on them and say you received the payment. But most of the time they just make a payment through PayPal or on eBay, and it'll close the case for them. But they just have to pay for the item.
Does eBay take their fee before the guy pays for it?
The final value fee gets applied as soon as the listing ends. So yes. So what I'm saying is
now the listing is not ended because it hasn't been paid for.
The listing did end because they made the purchase. They just haven't paid for it. So as soon as the purchase is made, as soon as the purchase is made, the final value fee gets applied to your eBay account into your eBay invoice, and then this is the reason why I'm trying to tie this all back to the UPI assistant, because if you use the UPI assistant, it'll keep track for you the orders that aren't being paid, and it'll keep it uniform for everybody. So it's not like you waited 5 days to open up a case on this guy and you waited 10 for this other guy because you weren't on the ball. And it's you want to be uniform with everybody. So I use the UPI.
I'm going to go in there right now and I'm going to check on what the case is, if it's been closed and I've been credited back.
Well, that's what.
I'm going to go look now.
That if you open up the case, what it'll do is it'll get you your money back when the case is closed. So as soon as the case is opened, as soon as they don't pay, and the case, they know that they'll have an open case on them. If they don't make the payment, the case will be closed in your favor. You'll get all the money back that you invested in the listing, even though you had to lay it out and you got it back. Though you can then relist the item, and you'd have to pay for whatever costs are associated with the relisting of it. But that's the one way to make.
Good.
That'll make.
Yeah,
that'll make sure you get all. That'll make sure you get all your money back. Is what I'm trying to say. So you don't have to worry about losing out on. I know you probably don't lose out on many listings because you're probably watching them. But when you're doing hundreds of transactions, it's very difficult to keep record of all this because a lot of the queues, the queues in eBay, they only save a certain amount of transactions. So if it only has a 2,000 transaction buffer, you might never reach that within the whole year. But what I'm saying, I might have that happen within a month, and then I can't even see like yesterday I was trying to look up somebody's order, and it dropped off the map. I had to go do an archived search of some of these orders because it fell off the radar on eBay's lists, and I couldn't see the order because it was like last month, but it was so far down the list of orders that it fell off the ability to be captured.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm a little slack on it, but it goes on my email that the item has been sold and then it's paid for, right?
Yeah.
It's on my email. Sometimes my email I got goes back until December or November. So something drops off my sheet, I just go back on my email, find the item, click it, and it brings me right to it.
Yeah, correct. But again, if you're doing hundreds of transactions,
I hear you.
that email could be thousands of emails ago, and even if you're doing a keyword search through your email, it could still be difficult to just sort through everything.
All right. I can't figure out this guy was a zero. I told the guy on eBay, this guy is a zero. I'm giving him a break. Maybe he's starting out. But why would a guy do something stupid like this and get an item and don't pay for it when you're a zero? eBay is going to say, well, we don't want you now. Or slap him on the hand. What's with these guys? Are they dumb?
Well,
you got to start out with someplace, Frank, at a zero. I give the guy I don't see it ahead of time, but I would give the guy a break and figure he's starting out. So let's see what he does. And the guy does something stupid like this.
Well,
I just can't see it.
It's when you're dealing with people that again are used to dealing with Amazon.com and all Overstock.com. You're dealing with all these professional websites that have a corporate infrastructure in place, and they're dealing with a person that's just like their neighbor that's selling out of their home, and is probably running the whole operation themselves, or maybe with one other person. So they don't treat it the same way because they're new to the community. I think that's why, and that's why I notice a lot where it's just they kind of expect things to just kind of work themselves out, and they actually have to do intervention and do their part to make the transaction and the experience happen, which is part of the reason why more people should leave feedback for transactions, because the more feedback you have, the more reputable you are as a seller, and that allows you to increase more sales and attract more buyers to the site, and it just increases the economy. But people who buy on Amazon, they're not leaving unless they really have no time, or at least they have a lot of time to dedicate to this type of stuff, and they're leaving product reviews on Amazon about products. Most people don't leave product reviews on Amazon. When you go on a product, there's 30 reviews out of the hundreds of thousands of people that bought this product. Only 30 people had the time to sit down and write a review about it. It's the same thing with eBay. So what I'm saying is that it's not a customary practice for people to go on Amazon and write a review when they make a purchase. So they don't feel like they need to be obligated to make a review on eBay because they don't feel the need to be obligated to do it. You know, even though eBay's jamming it down their throat and reminding them that they need to leave feedback and that's the proper way to do things and to communicate with the seller back and forth. But they're used to buying on Amazon where they don't have to communicate with anyone. They're just pushing buttons, and 2 days later something shows up at their door.
You don't think this guy is purchasing the item and turning it around, selling it on his end? I mean, the item, he buys it on my end, he gets it, and he already been paid for it, and he sends it out, and he has no money out of his pocket. You think can he do something like that? That's
called drop shipping. That's something that people do.
This guy be doing that? In other words, buy my item, don't pay for it, put it on his website, sell it, get the money for it, then pay me, and then it's shipped. And you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they could do that, but
and there's nothing out of his pocket.
It would be
shipped to him. He mails it out, and then he's got the items to pay for. He got his profit and everything. You know what I mean?
It would be difficult for them to do that because they would have to change their eBay address to the recipient's address, because the only way what you would see is the address that he provides for.
Why couldn't it go to him?
Oh, I mean,
he sends it out.
He could do that, but that would take twice the time to ship, because he'd have to wait for you to ship it, which is he'd probably get it within 10 days, and then he'd have to ship it out, and then it's a long. I don't know, man. I don't know anybody who'd want to buy from him if it's going to take him anywhere between 15 to 20 days to receive an item from him. I don't know anyone who would buy from him if it took.
He looks for a guy who has fast and free, and he'll know he'll get it in a couple of days, and then let him put thing on economy, which gives 10 days to get it, in the mail to somebody, and he's got that leeway.
I don't see that happening just because of the length of time it takes to ship something.
I'm devious, but are people more devious than me, Frank?
Well,
I'm thinking about this.
The people do that. What I'm saying is people do that, but they don't do it with. I don't think they do it to other eBay sellers. They do it to websites like Amazon.com. So what they do is they'll make a listing of like propane grill for $50 and with free shipping, and people are like, wait a second, this person's selling a grill that's brand new. It's a really nice grill actually, and it's got free shipping. It's probably going to cost this guy $50 to ship it alone. Well, this is a great deal. So they buy it. They make the instant payment purchase of the $50 to the seller, and this person has a deal on another website that they might have sourced, which is like Amazon. What they do is they use the money they just got from the instant payment. They make the purchase, and what they can do on that website is they can set up what they call as a gift address, which is if you want to buy something for somebody.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a gift address, and you could also set up gift receipt. So the person who gets the box doesn't know how much you paid for the item, and two, it doesn't know where it's actually coming from, who's the sender of it. You can include a card in there, which allow the person to know, or a personalized message allow the person to know who it came from. But you can send people random items as a gift, and it'll come from some kind of a Amazon dropshipment warehouse. So it won't even come from your address, the address on eBay for the seller. It'll come from some dropshipment Amazon warehouse, and it'll arrive in 2 days. So they can offer this fast free shipping because they're sourcing it, and they're piggybacking off of like sites like Amazon who offer 2-day shipping. So they have their Prime subscription on Amazon, and they sell the item from whatever pictures. They even get the pictures from the listing on Amazon. They'll take the description, they'll copy it directly from Amazon. All they're doing is copy and pasting and then facilitating the deal on a different website, which, I mean, if you are knowledgeable enough to go on eBay to go buy something like a grill, then I'm sure you probably know what the site Amazon.com is to go look for the same grill on other sites. And I mean, most people who shop online are shopping for deals, so most people are
I got 2 accounts, so I could probably do something like that.
What do you mean?
eBay and Amazon.
You could sell on Amazon, but what?
Yeah.
What?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, you're saying you have 2 accounts. I don't know what you mean.
Well, I got an eBay account and PayPal. I got Amazon and Amazon Pay. I got all of that.
Yeah,
so I could sell something on Amazon that I just bought on PayPal, and I could show it on Amazon. Somebody will buy it. Say, I spend 50. That guy's spending 100, so I just made $50, right?
Sometimes I usually it's usually the reversal. It's usually you buying something on Amazon and selling it on eBay. And a lot of the times I see stuff on Amazon that's cheaper than eBay, and it usually is books because the books on Amazon are driven by market prices, and there's a lot more of them on there. So when you got more people selling books and media like DVDs and movies and CDs, this media type of drive is what Amazon was built off of. So like the books, for example, there's a lot more people selling the same book on Amazon than on eBay. eBay might have 4 or 5 people selling the same edition of a book, but on Amazon you got hundreds of people, and it's driven more on the market price. So you might get a book for $3 plus $1.99 shipping on Amazon, and the book might be $8 or $9 on eBay because there's less people on there and they're not selling it for as low. There's not as much competition. So I've never seen it go backwards, is what I'm saying. I've never seen someone buy something on eBay trying to flip it on Amazon, because Amazon tends to have, for other things that are not,
I haven't shopped on Amazon. I haven't shopped yet.
They tend to be cheap. What I mean is it tends to be cheaper on Amazon for certain items that are large, and when you're buying and shipping and buying and selling on eBay, most of the items that are large, like a TV or something, it's difficult to ship it because the shipping on a TV alone is going to be ridiculous, especially if it's a large flat screen. But on Amazon, they can offer free shipping because they have all this bulk deal. So what I'm saying is that usually Amazon's cheaper in regards to buying certain things, but it's the aspect on eBay that you have where people aren't listing things right. They don't know what they have. They undervalue what they have. That gives you that competitive edge. Or like the rolling papers, like I sell on eBay. It's not as cheap on Amazon. I don't know why, but it's not as cheap on Amazon to go buy rolling papers when you can go on eBay. A lot of sellers have them for cheap. I have them for cheaper than Amazon prices. So if you could sell cheaper than Amazon, you could probably be successful on eBay. But it might be the barriers to entry on Amazon are a little bit higher. I used to do Amazon selling a little bit, and I didn't really like it. I didn't really sell a lot of stuff on Amazon as fast as I do on eBay. Usually you list something on eBay. eBay 7 days sometimes. Most of the time, the first round of auction, you usually sell your item, especially if you don't have like a high reserve price and it's realistically,
30 days. That what you mean, or 10 days.
Yeah, 10 or 7 day auction. I like to do short ones because I like.
They charge you for 7 days.
Yeah, but it tends to. I don't know. Well, for me personally, some of the items I don't list items that. I only auction off items that are like one of a kind or something that I know would yield a high value, because the auction there's a lot of what they call it shill bidding, which is shill bidding is people who bid on an item and don't expect to either win it or pay for it. So when I had sold an item recently, it was a collector's edition box. It was an Xbox One collector's edition Minecraft box, and it was just an empty box, but it was in mint condition. And I was selling it on there, and I could, for the life of me, could not get the listing right. I had to relist it 3 or 4 times. I even to the point where I put in the first letters of the title, it said in all caps, box only. And then I had an arrow pointing to my listing, because it's how else are you going to describe an Xbox One box that's a Minecraft edition without people thinking that it's a console, because they thought it was the Xbox One console. So when I had it on auction, the box was going for like $160. And I had to end the auction because people were thinking this was a system, even though in the listing I had in all caps, box only. You are not buying the console. There isn't even the styrofoam frame for the inside of the box. It's literally an empty box. If you're a collector or you have a game room or a man cave that you like to display, video game, memorabilia or whatever, or collectible edition, items, this is for you. So I was looking to get maybe 10 or 15 bucks for the box because it was a newer system. And, if you want to sell your system and you don't have the box, or you have that edition, you don't have the box, and you realize that maybe that edition, it might be worth money if you had the complete set, which includes the box, you would want to buy the box. So I tried to list it like that because I figured there was a market out there for that, but people kept thinking it was the console. I had the same issue with iPhone. I had the new iPhone come in right around Christmas time, and I saved all the packaging and the insides of the box because I know people buy these things. They buy the boxes. I ended up selling the iPhone box for $20. It's just an empty box with all the inserts and the stickers. I didn't need any of that stuff. I peeled off my serial number off the back of the box, and then it's just a regular Apple box. So I got $20 for that plus shipping. But when I had that up for auction, it was the phone was yielding like $500, and I'm like, how are these people not reading the first like 2 words of the title? It says box only, and then in the description it clearly states that it's not the phone, it's the box. So you get these people that bid things up, and they're bidding to not intend to win. It's called shill bidding, and either they're aware of it or they're unaware of it, which I was experiencing the people that were unaware of it because they see a picture, they see positive feedback, they see
You don't read the whole thing, Frank.
Correct. They're not reading they just see iPhone 7 Plus, you know what I mean, $14.99 auction. They want to throw their bid in. They want to throw their hat in the ring so that when it gets down to crunch time, when the auction's got a couple hours left, that's when they'll start getting these reminders through their email letting them know that the auction's coming to an end, that if they want to bid on it, that now's the time. So they try to throw their hat in the ring, but they're not intending to buy it because they're not even reading the listing, so they don't even know what they're bidding on. They're just bidding to get involved with the listing. And then when it comes down to it, they never pay. They win the listing because no one wants to pay $400 for a box, and they're the only person that was like, okay, the phone's worth $900. My max bid, I'll put $400 in there. And they're the only idiot that bid $400 for an empty box because they didn't read the listing. So then when they get the invoice for $400 or $400 that they have to pay through their PayPal account, and they look at the listing and it says box only, then they realize that they're not going to pay for it. But you, the seller, your account got invoiced for that money. So you're, whatever 14% or whatever the percentage is of that final value fee that you got, it's already been added to your account. So now you look at your account and you got your account's like $20, $30 more than you thought it would be in your account balance, and this person didn't even pay you yet, but you owe eBay supposedly this fee. So you know what I'm saying? It's like called shill bidding. So I don't really do auctions unless it's something that I know is going to yield some kind of money.
I got 2 things I got to ask you.
Yeah.
That's been bugging me. I go on the website and I look for an item. I click on it, and I'm ready to make a bid. But this guy's in China. The Chinese guys are all over the freaking thing. They got everything locked in almost, right?
For sure.
Well, I look for an item. I see an item. I says, one bid only. There's only one bid on it, and it says bid over 6 cents. Because this is a no-brainer. So I'm looking. The item's worth more than that. So I bid 20 cents. Just to start off to get the feel of it. Then it pops up. Somebody bid 5 cents more than me. I said, okay. So I'll bid again. Then it pops up 5 cents more than me again. So I'm saying, what the freak is this? Why a nickel more every time? Exactly. All the way up to $1, whatever it is. It's always been a nickel. The next guy's bidding on me. So I back off. I go to another Chinese thing, a different item, and every time I bid, it's a nickel off. Can they be doing this themselves?
So,
is that the thing where they're bidding a nickel more than me until they get their price and then they release it?
well, first I'll say I don't think that this is limited to Asian markets only. I don't think it's something that only international sellers in Asia are doing. I think this happens.
That's all I've been having, so I've been seeing it.
Well, that just happens to be where you're sourcing the listings that you're looking from. So you're only looking at these particular listings. This happens all the time, and this is another thing which is called shill bidding, which is what I was just explaining. It's another version of it where these sellers have it's actually illegal. So if you encounter this on the website and it's a pattern, like if you notice that all these sellers that are bidding against you at a nickel increment every time, and you're noticing this happening with multiple people, then what I would do is I would report that listing to eBay and say, listen, I'm noticing multiple listings having the same pattern where they're being bidded up at a nickel increment each time, and it seems that there's some kind of pattern here that maybe there's people who are being paid to have dummy usernames or dummy accounts who are just used to just bid up items. Because if this happens, let's say you're not the only person that complains about this. Let's say like 10 other people complain about the same instance where you got 1 million people buying from one person. Odds are if there's a pattern like that going on, then at least a couple people, like a 10 or a dozen, are going to complain about this, and then their account will get investigated and then removed. But it's called shill bidding. It's something where sellers have multiple accounts where they either pay someone a minimum wage or a low fee per transaction, or they get paid to bid on items, or sellers will pay people to bid on items to bid up their items. Because let's say the seller wants to bring people to their listing, and they have an expectation of how much they want to get for this item. Like you said that it was clearly not valued at 6 cents, so you were like, I want to jump on this. And if he didn't have anyone, let's say this was suspect and someone was bidding this up, if he didn't have someone bidding it up, you would win that for 6 cents, even though the either expected value is $1.50 or $1.20, and the cost of it and the shipping and everything might cost him like 60 cents, and he makes that large profit. But if you win it for 6 cents, if you win it for 6 cents, he loses. So they have this thing set up where they pay. I mean, some people do. I'm not saying this person or these people you're dealing with it, but it seems like something's fishy there, where it's the same increment each time. But what it is they pay people to get on there, and they bid up their items for them, to bid it up at least in the range of the expected value of the item. Like if they want to get $150 for something, they might have these shill bidders that bid up the item to just a little bit over $100, and then they kind of let the sharks go into a feeding frenzy. Because when people are bidding on an item, or they're in a bidding war, or they're involved with something that they want to own or purchase, and they see people going at the really bidding aggressively, they're going to get involved with that aggressive bidding too. So they just bid it up into a range, and they just let the feeding frenzy happen after that. Because even though I
know something is wrong, because why always a nickel? Why not a dime or 12 cents or an even amount? Always a nickel.
Well, it could also
27, 37, 42, 48. You know what I mean?
It could be a program too. There's a lot of issues with programs on people using them on eBay to not only use these programs to find items as they're being listed with certain keywords and key descriptions, so that they can be the first one to purchase these buy it now listings. Because a lot of the times the good deals you're going to find are going to be in the buy it now listing. You know what I'm saying? But you might get some auction listings, but for the most part, if it's something that's legitimate, for the most part, an auction has been up for a considerable amount of time. A lot of people have had the opportunity to view it. A lot of people know that it exists, and then once it gets down to the red zone, no one might not even view the listing until it gets to the red zone. Then you got people who are noticing it because they're searching through items ending first. So a lot of the times you're not going to, you might get a good deal in a listing, but the only time you really get a good deal in a listing is if you know what this person's selling, and it's unclear of what they're selling, but you know what they're selling, and you know what the value of it holds, and that the other people who are bidding on it might not truly understand what this person's selling, and you'd be capitalizing on that. But in regards to someone representing something properly, I think the auction, you're not going to get the best deals on. Buy it now are usually going to be the ones that you'll find the most undervalued items that people are trying to flip. They just want to get fast cash quick. So normally I like to look at the items that are newly listed, because those are going to be the ones that aren't snatched up yet. And if you snatch them up within the first hour of their existence, you have a better chance of getting something that you can flip. But what I'm saying is they use these programs to find these items, and they do automatic buying, because they set these thresholds where if the buy it now is within a certain range, it automatically buys it. No questions asked, and if there's a certain amount of keywords that are intermixed in that transaction, then it'll source those as well. So they use programs. This could be a program that someone might have set up to do automatic bidding up to a certain point. They just set the threshold where they bid this up to $1.05, and then I've already made my money and I'm making some profit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I'd recommend if you see that report, I would just report the listing to eBay. Just say, listen, I noticed a weird pattern here that every time I bid it on this item, it went up 5 cents, and then I'm on this other listing on the same day, bidding on other items, and they're all going up a nickel each. This is something where it seems like it's a pattern, and I don't really know what's going on. So then that's when I would report it to eBay. When you see a pattern forming, and there's something fishy going on, there probably is. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right, Dad?
Yeah, I've been getting that lately. And I said to myself, what the freak is going on? If I go to an item, there's only one bidder. How come now we could be multiple bidders all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? Am I bidding on myself or what?
Yeah, well, in a way you are. You are bidding against yourself. You're bidding against your own threshold for what you want to pay for it because of the machine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I notice this stuff happens a lot of the times around the holidays. Because I notice personally a lot of this type of activity happens. You hear a lot of people talking about it around the holidays. I don't know if it's because there's less people going to the site after the holidays because they don't have the funding to go on there and just buy stuff because they just spent a bunch of money from the holidays. But I notice a lot of this stuff happens right around the holidays. So
Yes, well, this is crazy. Like I said, I'm bidding against myself. It's ridiculous.
and they don't want to give their stuff away. So they want to be
I hear you.
they want to be in business, but they don't want to give this stuff away. So what they're doing is they're manipulating markets and they're creating
Build it up to their level.
the price that they want to sell their products at versus
They want profit and they're shipping. They don't want to keep losing money or else you'd be in the red all the time.
correct. But like a normal business where you walk into the storefront, when it's slow, it's slow. There's a lot of times where you got these niche stores like video game stores or comic book shops where sometimes it's just really slow. Like if premiere day for a comic book is on a Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday might be really busy, and then Monday might be dead and Sunday might be dead. But like in the online store game, people want business 24/7. So, I mean, I could see these people setting up these software platforms to manipulate the market so that they can always make the money they're looking for. What they're really doing is it's illegal what they're doing.
That's a win-win situation, Frank.
Yeah, but it's a win-win because it's illegal. You're cheating people. You're cheating people by manipulating the market. I mean, it's definitely illegal. And if they're caught doing this, there's various legal implications that are associated with this.
What do I do, Frank? If I see it, I'll just take the guy's username, write it down, and report it to eBay?
The best
Let them go on the website, see what he's doing?
The best would just be to write the listing down. The listing number, there's an item number that's on the listing because this is going to get eBay directly to that listing that you're talking about. This guy...
Okay, if I scroll down, there'll be an item number. Okay.
Yeah, because this guy might have 10...
I know where to look.
He could have 10,000 items for sale, and you just giving them their username, he's not going to know, or she's not going to know.
Yeah.
Whoever the customer service rep is that answers the phone isn't going to know.
Okay, I hear you. What item it's happening to? Okay.
And a lot of these times, you'll notice a lot of the international sellers they'll have the same item for sale. They'll have it listed like 10 times, and they'll all be within a penny.
Yeah, multiple times.
They'll all be within a penny of each other. So
Yes.
so I just recommend getting the item number and then using that number to report to eBay what's going on if you start noticing a pattern.
Okay, I got you.
What was your other?
There is a pattern. I get more than one vendor, and there is a pattern.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not proper.
I'll bid on Chong Chong, then I go to Wong Wong, and he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I would just write the listing number down, and then you'd bring that to eBay's attention when you make the phone call.
All right. Okay.
What was your other question you had?
As long as you have a confirmed address and mail it to that address, you should have no problem, right?
90% of the time. 99% of the time.
All right. The reason why I say that, just the other day I mailed something. I look up and we'll say John Smith is the buyer.
Yep.
But the confirmed address is Mary Jones. And now there's two different names here. Smith is buying it, but it's going to a Jones.
Could be.
But if the address is confirmed on Jones, on eBay and PayPal, I should have no problem, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you're
I see sometimes two different names. I'm saying, well, maybe it's a gift, or maybe it's going to his mom or his dad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, why would Johnny Smith send it to a Mary Jones? You know?
I mean, it could be an active service military buying overseas, and he's having the items shipped to his house or her house in the United States or something. I mean, it could be a multitude of things
Well,
that.
if it's confirmed, I should have no problem then, right?
As long as it's confirmed, you should be fairly.
I don't want Jones to call me up and say, "Hey, Frank, I never got my item. What's happening?"
Well,
I sent it. You know.
Well, I mean, I've run into issues sometimes when you sell rolling papers out there. You run into. That's why you got to be very careful with the people that you sell. Like when you're selling papers, you got to be 18 years old or older to purchase them. So no sales to minors. But a lot of the time, people snatch their parents' credit card, and
There you go.
they're buying rolling papers with their parents' credit card. Their parent looks at their credit card. They use their parents' credit card on PayPal to make the payment, or they use their parents' PayPal account to pay for something they shouldn't be buying, or they use their parents' PayPal account to buy something maybe they should be buying, or that they were supposed to. So a lot of the time it could go either way, but I mean that happens too, where you have people that are using someone else's information to make purchases for themselves. It could also be the reversal, where maybe the PayPal account's linked to someone's parent and they're making purchases using their parent's account, but it's getting shipped.
Mailing address.
Yeah, it's going to their dorm or something. There's that too. You know what I'm saying? It could be something like that, where you're buying a book on eBay. The dad's buying the book for the son or the daughter, or the mom's buying the book for the son or the daughter, and it could be opposite sex, but it could be that kind of relationship too. So I mean, it's not, as long as it's confirmed, you should be fine with shipping to the address. Yeah. I mean, you should be fine shipping to the address with stamps, not with tracking for sure, because you could track where it's going. But if it's confirmed,
well, I got it being tracked to Mary Smith and not to a Jones, and if it's delivered and it's confirmed, I figured I'm covered.
Well, you're not only covered, but if they open a case against you, all you have to do is add the tracking information that you paid for to track the package. And as soon as eBay sees that you uploaded tracking information, when they're solving the case, what they're going to do is they're going to see that the package was delivered to the address provided, which was a confirmed address on eBay. And once they see that, it's going to be case closed, because to eBay, they see that the person who made the purchase, it went to the address it was supposed to, it was delivered. Now, whether somebody snatched that package up off the front porch of this person's house, if they make that claim, or they make the claim that it just never was delivered and they don't know that if it was stolen or not, that it's up for debate. But I mean, it's pretty much a shut case if you upload the tracking information and it shows as delivered. And if that's the case, even if the person is mad that they didn't receive the package, they could file a claim through PayPal for up to 6 months. But if they leave negative feedback, let's say they kept the item or they have the item, and they're claiming they never received it even though it showed as delivered, it allows you to not get negative feedback on your account if the case is won in your favor. So any negative they're going to leave is done. So.
Oh, okay.
To all of our listeners and those of you who found this content interesting and want more, then hit the subscribe button and like this video. Thanks for tuning into the show.